Wendy Morato, and thank you for joining us again for Cat Chat. And Debbie is here with me. And Deb, we have, because we're going to just get started.
That's right.
And thank you, Andy, for being behind the camera as always. So, we have a kitty here, and we're going to do a medical show today.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of medical issues. And what would you say, Debbie, is kind of the percentage of cats that come in that we have to treat for something?
A lot of percentage.
Yeah, we're talking better than 75%
Yes.
come in with
Some
something.
issue, yes.
A lot of times it's diarrhea.
Diarrhea or
Diarrhea.
bad eyes or
They have an upper respiratory. We have to fix that.
or in case of Glenda, who was dehydrated from fleas that you saved and her babies she saved. So yeah, a lot of things do happen.
Yeah. They have, we rarely, I'll say rarely, and we're going to go with under 20, maybe even under 10% of the cats that we get in are so good and so healthy that we can just move them right through. And they go from a 2-week hold sometimes to a 1-week hold because we hold our cats 2 weeks. Why do we hold our cats 2 weeks? Because there are things that can pop out under stress. Coming here, being around other cats, they are in cages for the first 2 weeks because we have to make sure that they aren't carrying anything. We have to make sure that they aren't contagious with anything. We have to make sure their health is good before we send them home. We are quite different than any other shelter out there, and I can promise you that we are high quality when it comes to making sure the cats that go home are as healthy and taken care of as we can get them before they go home. Now, when they go home, they're back under stress, and stress drops immunity, and immunity will make things pop out. This little girl is Peggy Sue, and she just got here last week with her brother Petey.
And 2 other sisters.
And 2 other sisters. So
all
there's
solid gray.
All of them are this
She's
gray.
a little more.
Yeah, she's more of a tabby.
Right.
And we know that anybody with an M on their forehead, right there, boom, 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 is a tabby. And what was their story?
Gentleman, his father, well, had the mom. Mom had kittens. He kept all 4. Kept great records on them.
Oh, the book is like that.
Yeah,
that is so rare.
Yeah, and unfortunately the gentleman passed away. And his son is a long truck driver, and he was leaving, and he didn't know what to do with them. So now the son thought they were 2, but they're really 8. But they're great cats. Yeah.
Years old.
They're really great cats, and I emphasize almost every time we're on the show. Older cats are awesome. Just not always think that you have to get a kitten. This one just wants to be loved.
She's purring.
She is.
And if you saw in the show, I held her paw. Normally you can't touch paws of cats. They're always pulling them away. This cat is so docile. She's just sitting here, and then she's been using my hand as a pillow. So let's get to the medical part of this kitty. So she came in with this eye sore. Looks like something, and were they indoor, outdoor?
They were indoor-outdoor cats.
So we think that not a sibling, but something like a coyote got her, because this is, to me, a fang that caught her in the base of the eye and bit her down like that, and just left this big tooth mark in her, very deep. And when she got here, the guy didn't even know she had it.
He didn't even know.
He didn't even know.
It startled me because I went in the cage, her whole face was covered with dry, pussy blood, and it's like, I thought her whole face was gone.
Yeah.
And it was like...
Yeah, and I'm a huge proponent of aloe vera. But what we're gonna do is, we're gonna clean this up. They've been working on her face for a week now. So I'll be the initial person to take a look at it, and then we'll write out some instructions. Sometimes we seek the advice of our veterinarian here, but we got this thing, huh, Deb? But you have to let external wounds heal from the inside up. So you have to keep them moist, and you have to let the body heal itself. The body is an amazing place. God created it to do a lot of healing on its own, but you have to give it the right environment. And she doesn't like this because it hurts. So I need to clean this So I'm taking some warm water and I'm putting a little pressure, and I'm going to get this goo off. I know, honey, because everybody's messing with that. Okay, I got you. Now I'm going to do what's called a scruff. Right between the shoulder blades is a semi-paralyzing nerve that's going to get her to sit a little bit more still for me. And it has, I mean, it's not pain, you know, it's not hurting her. This is not hurting her. But that's got to be painful. It is almost gone. Okay, it's healed.
Yeah.
This is just residue from the eye.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's still watering.
It was indented there. There was flesh. There's no flesh left.
You can see a
little bit.
But it's totally healed.
But I insisted that they use the aloe. And she also has an antibiotic that the doctor injected, but there it is. There's the scar. Do you see that, Andy? The pink scar? That aloe healed that right up. Look at that, it's gone.
It's good. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Now, the problem is, does she have residual eye, an eye issue? Because her eye is still draining. You can see where that animal got her right there.
Right below the eye.
Right below the eye. All you need to do, you don't have to spend any money. Keep it clean. The body will heal itself. And get some aloe vera. Get some of the most pure aloe vera in the world. Is a company called Forever Living Products. Forever Living Products. This is straight out of the plant with a stabilizer in it so it doesn't go bad. Period. And all you need to do is get some aloe. This face is literally healed. I cannot even, I always say, I've been using aloe since I was a kid because my mom was a natural person. We had animals, tons of animals, farm, and we didn't have any money. So my mom always found ways of fixing the animals by natural ways. So I learned some things from my mom. One of them is aloe. I know, honey, everybody's been sticking it on your eye. And you can put this right on the eye. And it doesn't burn or anything. I'll put it right in my eye. It will not burn. I know, but it hurts her. So this is what we have to do for her benefit. See, what they do is they back up when they don't want something. So I'm going to block her pathway backing up. They always back up. So block the back up and put that right on there. And look at that, sweetie.
She's still a good girl for everything she's gone through.
She's not biting.
Really,
she's not scratching. She's just trying to get away from what is causing her some pain. We have one other issue with this cat because I'm petting her and I can feel she has chin acne. And we talk about chin acne on the show, right? Most of the cats that have chin acne have a white or light chin. For some reason, they're more prone to chin acne. And they get chin acne, typically they get chin acne from plastic. So you should never feed your cats. No cat should be fed from a plastic bowl for several reasons. A lot of them have chin acne. They're allergic to the plastic. Those cats tend to also be allergic to our plastic collars that they put on.
That's why she doesn't have one on.
And she doesn't have one on because I said, when she came in, I said, this cat has chin acne, do not put a collar on her. This is Peggy Sue, and once we've determined, maybe we'll give her a few more days to just determine with our doctor. At this point, I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a registered vet tech. I'm just a gal that's been doing this for 20 years. We have to now make sure that eye is going to heal right.
Right.
And let me introduce you to Amanda. Amanda is now newly hired, and she is my assistant because I can't get anything done. All right, so we've got this guy here who's nice and white and has issues. His whole back end was super raw.
Yeah.
And about that much.
Yes.
All the way around, and legs, down his legs and stuff. Whew. And we don't see that very often. No. But this guy came in to Quick Fix to get neutered because they said he was a feral kitten and they could not catch him. So anyway, he got neutered, and then I said, he's not feral.
Well, they were going to put him back out.
Yeah, they were just going to put him back out.
With that rare, raw butt, and he probably would have died.
He would have died of dehydration. Not from whatever that was, but the results of having what he had was screaming diarrhea. Oh, yeah. It was bad. It was so bad. And
it was one of the worst I've ever saw.
One of the worst I've ever seen. And it's 20 years worth of, that's one of the worst I've ever seen.
So
it was pretty bad. And he was skinny and everything else. And you can tell he's such a bad kitty, feral kitty. So,
yeah, he's vicious.
He's so vicious. And so I said, well, first of all, he can't go out with that. And he definitely can't survive well with this coat. Because cats with long hair mat. They're cats that are not Maine Coons. Maine Coons don't tend to mat. Real true ones, they don't tend to mat. Norwegian forest cats, Siberian forest cats, and Maine Coon cats, they don't mat up. This guy already has mats and he's been here. So being out in the wild, on his own out in the farm and getting burrs in his coat, he'd be miserable. But we have a mat right here and you just pull it out. And that is hair that starts to weave and pull and weave and pull. And what it'll do is it'll weave down. A lot of times. Before it has a chance to grow out, it'll weave down. And then it starts to pull the skin in with it. Look at my neck here. I have extra skin right here. So, and then it'll pull this extra skin in, and then it hurts. We're still working on his little bottom. It's been a month. It was a process because sometimes these things don't resolve as fast as we'd like to see them. But you look at his little butt now, and you can see where all the hair is still growing back in. It was up to here. See where the hair is missing, guys? See, it should be this long. That was burnt off. His legs were, the hair was burnt off of his little legs. He was, see right to here, how pink that is? He was raw to here. Look at him, he looks fantastic. That's a good looking butt.
Guess what we used on it?
Hello.
Hello. Once Wendy set up a regimen of deworming them and treating them, you know, fixing the issue so it wouldn't happen again. And then we started putting aloe on them, you know, 2 to 3 times a day. Boom. Took a little longer because it was, like she said, 20 years. It's the worst she saw, so that should tell you how bad it was.
Well, it didn't take long for the inflammation to go down.
No, it didn't, but
we were working on the diarrhea. The burning that was gone in a few days.
right. And the worms, you know, she
That was
got
all
rid of that.
taken care of in a few days. We had the main problem that was causing the symptoms to work on. We were fixing the exterior symptoms. He didn't have a condition that was causing his legs to burn that was exterior. He had an interior problem. When that diarrhea was shooting out, there were some acids and things in there that was causing that to burn. He loves us, and I think they know. I just think they know.
Oh, I'm 100% believe what Wendy just said. These cats know when we rescue them.
They know we love them.
I don't want. We can come in here and they'll give you a crazy cat, and they know she's done it, and they love her. She gets them and she does something to them, and they're like loving her up. Like, look at him.
Who doesn't want this cat? He's up for adoption.
Yes. Well, he's on
Close.
one more day. He's probably on 2 more days of meds.
By the time this show airs,
he'll be ready.
you best get here because he's gonna be gone. This is a new cat we got in yesterday. And where did we get him from?
A lady called, said she's family of somebody that brings a lot of cats into you to get fixed. And she said the cat just came up to her. She has 14 cats, so she could not take anymore. So she did say it was a young one. Orange boys are awesome, as you know. And so I said, sure, bring him up. And he is a sweetheart.
Yes.
So he was outside, though.
Yeah, but he's hurting. He's young. I figured he's about 7 to 8 months old. I said, put him at 8 months old. We don't know. They don't come with their birth certificate. All right, buddy.
He loves the bed.
I'm going to scruff him and have him come out. Deb, if you can pull from the back. I'm sorry. Or someone.
She got it.
Here, pull that out of him. Thank you. Now we're going to turn a smidge to get his hips out of there because they'll splay their back legs and then everything hits their hips. And I'm just going to move that for a second. Okay. Hi, buddy. And we have this collar on, and Debbie named him Barney because she said she always wanted to name a cat Barney. Their body language is telling you constantly how they're feeling. And this guy has a leg tucked right there that tells me he's somewhat comfortable. This is position that you don't want them to be in. You don't want them to be in this position and have these like this, because that's called the pounce position. That's ready to go boom. And then when they're in that position and you see their whiskers flared forward, these are going to flare forward, these are going to flare forward. And you can't see that from, you know, sometimes he's got white whiskers on a white background. For me, I can't even tell. But when you're looking at a cat and everything's coming at you and he's in that pounce position, get out of the way and don't touch them. He has such bad ears. What we say, bad ears, but ear mites. And ear mites, we talk a lot about ear mites because so many of these outdoor cats have come in with ear mites.
Right.
And it is an issue. It's a worse issue than fleas, in my opinion, for an older cat. If this cat was this big and it had fleas, fleas will kill that kitten. Just the fleas. And so I'm talking to a lot of you barn folks that have all these kittens, and all of a sudden you go out in the barn and they're dead, they're dead, they're dead. All it is fleas. So once they hit 2 pounds, you can put flea treatment on them. If they're nursing, you can put 1 dose of flea treatment on your mama cat, and for the next 30 days, it will keep them off of her. Fleas change hosts all the time. They go from this host to this host to this host. That flea will go on her and die. They will eventually, because you can't put it on kittens, it'll kill them. Even the over-counter, you cannot flea treat a kitten under 2 pounds. It's all designed, the too heavy of a dose, it will kill them. And so you have to treat the mother, and you put that product right between these shoulder blades. You can feel them. It's right there. You put that there. That's the only place a cat cannot reach to lick it. That's the dirty spot of the cat because they cannot lick it. So you want to make sure that when you put the product on, you kind of make a well, put it in there, and watch that go down and in there. Once it's done, good. The Revolution that you would use to treat the fleas also treats the ear mites. It also treats the roundworms that they're born with. So 1 dose of Revolution on a 2-month-old kitten that's 2 pounds is going to get rid of the worms that they're all born with, is going to take care of any fleas for a month. It's going to work for a month, even up to 6 weeks. By 5 weeks, the strength of it is going to diminish. By 6 weeks, it's going to be gone. So, but you want to keep it every 4 weeks so that the overlap of coverage is strong. So at 5 weeks, you're like this, and you got a little gaps, and then at 6 weeks, it's just gone. So these ear mites cause infection. Infection lowers the immunity, and then they pick up viruses faster. So we usually see on the younger cats a combination of ear mites with an upper respiratory.
Yes.
All the time. It's so common. It probably started out with the ear mites that did not get treated. Very simply, come into Quick Fix. The cat needs to be seen 1 time by the veterinarian, 1 time a year. Then you can buy a year's worth of Revolution at your convenience. You can buy 1 a month. You can come in, you can buy 3. You can buy all 12. This cat is going to be a wonderful, wonderful cat. He's just a little nervous right now, and he is in pain from his ears. So we're going to look at, we've already cleaned him out. Last night, one of the medical team who have been with me for many, many, many years, up to 12 years, some of the people. We get together, they volunteer their time, they come, and every new cat that Debbie manages, all the intake, she brings them in on Tuesdays now. And sometimes our days change, but on Tuesdays is our intake day. You can't just walk in and give us a cat. We are not set up that way. We are a private shelter, we pick and choose. And it's random sometimes. We have a list, people are waiting to get in. But when we have an issue, like you had the guys leaving, there's nowhere for the cats, sometimes they go to the top of the list. It's just that way.
Well, he was on the list
We make no apologies for it.
He was on a list anyway.
We take in those that we can. I feel like Schindler every day. Like you save some and there's some you can't save. But you focus on the ones you can. So see how dark, I don't know, Andy, can you see kind of in there? Do you need me to move it a little bit? Okay, so you see it's dark black in there, and that's not the ear mite, that's the residue of the ear mite, that's the excrement of the ear mite. These ear mites are microscopic, and they start out down here, in the ear canal down here. So when you're petting your cat, if they're like moving away like this, it's either a teeth issue or it's an ear issue, ear mite issue, and he's being real good about it, but when they tilt their ear like that, it's because it itches in there. So if I can, so he's doing pretty good. Oh, he's grunting. He's like, oh yeah, that feels better, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. When they hold their ears flat like that, that means their ears hurt, okay? Not forward flat, that means they're coming at you. Sideways flat, sort of like the flying nun without the little flap down. When they hold their ears flat like that, that means it hurts. It hurts me. And so, but he's such a gentle guy. He's such a gentle guy. I'm gonna just take this Q-tip, and you don't need to do this at home because you don't know where the ear canal is necessarily, but I'm gonna just dig out a few, and you see he's wanting to scratch. There's this black, and look, there's a chunk of it. This is nothing. We've already pulled out the big chunks.
Yes.
This is just a little bit left in here, and I try to clean all around, and they have a lot of nooks and crannies in here, and it's just gonna keep coming out. Yeah, it's okay, honey. He's being good, and we just reassure him that he's being a good boy. But it is a little bit bloody because these guys cause infection in here. I know that hurts. And, well, it feels good, actually, to get these out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm scratching him. That's a little farther down there, so that's pretty gross. But that's not bad. And the Revolution that we put on him yesterday is already treating this. It's treating it. And what's going to happen is these ear mites down here are going to get pushed out by the body itself. It's just going to, now the mites are dead, but all that excrement's still all the way down in that ear canal. I'm not going to go down in the ear canal and dig because I'm going to be pushing it back in.
Right.
I'm going to be pushing it down, and I'm not going to do that. You don't want to do that. You just want to take out what you can see. And then what happens is clients say, you sold me that Revolution, and his ears look worse. And that's because the body's trying to push it out. So you have to kind of, every few days, take a Q-tip and clean out what you can see and let the body finish
just don't
pushing it out. It's not the live ear mite because you can't see the ear mites. So when you figure a microscopic animal that's multiplying in the ear that's causing this to fill up, that's pretty itchy, it's pretty painful, and it's a parasite that needs to get out of this body. So we work on ear mites all the time, and nobody can say that they went home with ears packed full of ear mites ever, because we clean them out, and they get Revolution. Every cat that's over 2 pounds gets Revolution. This is the pinker ear, way pinker. This ear, we got to keep working on this ear. This is his starter ear, huh? But it can cause infection, and a lot of times you'll see it's beet red. This ear is beet red. They should not be beet red, and they should not be white. White is an indicator of anemia. So if they have fleas too, the fleas are taking all the blood. The ear mites are living off the blood system because they're eating off the blood system in the ears. And now this cat has no blood, and it becomes anemic. So you're going to look for the anemia by checking multiple places. Where it should be pink should not be white. You should see pink. You see, I see pink, but it shouldn't be flared deep pink or red. This cat's doing good. He's not in an infectious state, and he's not in an anemic state. I can see nice and pink. That's one place you can look. You look at his nose, and when they're anemic, their nose literally goes white, and their gums go white. And we check their mouth too when they come in. So I check their mouth, and I look for what's called stomatitis. And stomatitis can be transient. So this cat can have stomatitis because it's got an upper respiratory, but when the upper respiratory goes away, so does the stomatitis. And what that is an inflammation, sorry, Andy, an inflammation caused by virus. And you'll see it at the gum line. Okay, so we're going to look for extra red on the gum line. That's not stomatitis. That's just nice pink gums. Can you see that, Andy? Okay, so right at his That's a little bit red right there. But when they have stomatitis, that line right there is beet red, and it is painful. So if a cat comes in and it's not eating, we need to check the mouth. Sometimes when they have an upper respiratory called calicivirus, they get sores on their tongue. So then we have to go into the mouth of the lion that we don't know and just kind of take a look. So you can just blow in his face and open it up. Okay? So if you blow in their face, they kind of go like that already. So I want to be looking at the cat, blow in their face, pop it open, and look at the tongue really fast and see if there are any sores on his tongue, because that's another reason they won't eat. It hurts. It's like a canker sore.
Good.
And they get sores in their mouth. So we have to treat the virus so they eat and they stop biting and scratching us because they don't feel good. So this guy is just a sweetheart. Yes, you are. The other last spot that you can look for anemia is on the pads. If they have pink pads, sometimes they have black pads. Each paw, each little toe has black pads, but I'm going to guess he's not going to have black pads because he's an orange guy. So you're going to look at the pads, and if the pads are white, you have a cat that's severely anemic, okay? And you need to get that cat to the vet, because it may, okay, this guy's not used to being held, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scruff him, and I'm going to do what I always do. I put their head right next to my neck and let them feel my heartbeat, and the pulse of my neck will settle him down. Obviously, he's not used to being picked up and carried around with, but he is calm now. See, what they do is they lean in. Oh, I just felt it. Okay, I don't know if you saw it on camera, but he did what my dogs do at the end of the day. The last thing my one boxer was really obvious about. At the end of the day, the last thing she would do is take a nice deep breath and exhale. And he just did that. Oh. And now he's relaxed. This is really for my staff and volunteers here, and the staff at Quick Fix who take care of a lot of stray animals that people bring in for spay-neuter. But this is a little bit long, but I'm going to read it. It's called A Taker In of Stray Cats. God sends some of us on a special mission to take in stray kitty cats in any condition, to feed them and give them a permanent home, to love them and make them our very own. They chase through the house, their potty box smells. They seem to have secrets they're unwilling to tell. They play till exhausted, then curl on your lap and settle themselves for a long, comfy nap. Some people are called to great wealth and power, to run corporations, make big bucks per hour. But others of us are only asked to take in little stray kitty cats. I ask God for things of importance to do, other than loving a good man and a bunch of kitties too. He said, "Don't be self-righteous, learn from your mistakes, and be glad I sent kitty cats and not make stray snakes." I dreamed when I died, I heard St. Peter say, "What important things did you do each day?" I felt heaven for me was an impossibility, and that I should have lived my life much differently. Then God said, "Come in, have food and some drink, and sit here in heaven by these rescued cats and think. I gave you one of my most important tasks when I asked you to be a taker in of stray cats."